Look at the mini. It's like an Easter basket.
The mini bars in honor of Corey Christy.
Yeah. Yes.
Shout out on
I'll
that.
take it.
So sounds coming
Did we
in.
get those flying llama seltzers out here for him?
Yeah.
I feel like we just thought about ourselves and not Corey. Well, I almost
They're
said
beers. They're our beers.
100%. We hunt.
Trying to sell that shit now.
Well, Llama
that.
knows.
One or two of 'em
Llama.
in there.
We drink out of the baseball bats and we drink nothing but Llama when the Shuckers came on Monday. Now it's Thursday.
It's fucking Thursday.
The boys had fun on Llama, and then Brock dropped off the Llama to the crew, and now
Now he's got his own beer.
Is it the Brockinator?
That happened like quick.
Yeah, real quick.
I don't know how they made that happen.
I feel like it was already.
coffee shop. It's
Well,
like
I'm saying, but well, how long does it take to make? What do they make?
It
What
takes
do they
a
make?
month to make a beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
They had to have just throw the rest of them boys on ice back there now.
I thought it was like, well, it was just funny because like, look, I looked at you, I'm like, that's a weird text, but it's cool.
They just named something, I'm sure. That was,
Well, so that's Dave's home team. I mean,
Yeah.
they're the Shuckers, but they're the Brewers, and that's Dave's favorite team. Which I didn't
from
know.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like the Brewers is his favorite team.
I didn't know that either.
Corey, can you levitate?
I can, but if I do it now, I'd like probably give away the secret.
Scare the kids.
So I don't want to.
Yeah.
Can you pull your mic closer to you, or do you want
I
the lighter mic?
I can do this like
Okay.
you're doing it.
All right,
I can handle it.
let's go in here real quick.
Kind of like doing 12-ounce curls.
All right,
About the
That's more than
Shuckers.
12 ounces for sure. That's
Oh.
like
All right. Shout out to the District Coffee Company, the Pascagoula, Ocean Springs, and then Ocean Springs again, OS 1515. Check them out. They make coffee and food.
wait, where are y'all in Pascagoula? I didn't know about that.
Dumbass. Ass.
In the
Right
old
next
like
door to
bank
City
building.
Center. Yeah.
Yeah. Next time I'm over there, I'm gonna have to get it.
And then if you want insurance, you go to Oliver Scott Insurance. We got you. Had a good time. Wellness Spa, thank you so much. That was a great one too. Shout out to them. They'll be in 1515 too. Beach and Cuts, our girl Inga. She's a badass. Check her out. Downtown Long Beach. Jefferson Davis.
Our big sister.
Yeah, she's badass.
And she takes care of us.
Marty Wilson, Captain Owls, Direct Auto, and Forever Young. And then the liquor store.
Mabry's Fine Wine and Spirits
Okay.
on Highway 90, right next to Aztecas.
All right. All right.
Shout out to Fine Llama too.
Fly llama. Llamas can't fly. They are fly.
I love it. So the
Fly
Brock,
llama.
did they call it the Brockinator?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
The Brocket.
The
That was
Brocket.
the Brocket.
The Brocket.
I saw the
'Cause
post
he hits
today.
rockets.
Terminator.
You know.
I think it
I
was
think it's
off
the
that.
Brocket. Is
I
it
think they
Brocket?
call him Brocket because he hits rockets.
I'd order that.
I don't know. All I know is when that happened, I was like, Dave, I sent Dave Brock's cell phone number. So it might be whatever, but it's going to be something cool. And we better get the first 6-pack.
I'll
I
make
think
sure.
it's already out. I think they already made
I
it.
mean, I saw a post today. I don't know.
Yeah, they posted it.
They posted it today. That happened quick.
Well, I didn't see it.
So I'll get you. I'll get you what you
We
need.
just we need collector memorabilia.
We need the.
Kay got us signed
He
cards.
came in today and gave me a signed card. You know,
Heck, yeah, see, is that the jersey up? Is that his jersey?
that's
all
I think we
of
got
them.
most of them up there.
I'm leaving y'all a signed shirt for sure.
I love this
You can?
jersey, man.
I am.
It's so cool.
I'm going to. Of
Huh?
course I can do that.
We're gonna be there on
20th, yeah.
20th.
A bunch of us will be there. For the
Yeah, we're
20th.
gonna
At the
start-
game or
Yeah.
You want to come?
the sure.
We're gonna start at Flying Llama and then
Is it before the election?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Hunter's coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
Hunter's going on the game with us with Ian and Kevin and Avery, and then we're coming
then
back.
we're all coming back
or
to podcast.
podcast from there
Perfect.
maybe.
Yeah, Hunter's my man.
All right, so I just had a great idea. Let's make that whole thing political. Said no one ever, but I think it'd be awesome.
How so? We're gonna like
Well, promote you,
Right,
man. With like I don't know, like
Corey Christy signs and
banners,
drink out of Corey Christy
stickers,
cups.
and-
He didn't give me a T-shirt though, so I don't know if we should do that. Did you get a T-shirt? I didn't get a T-shirt.
I don't know that there are T-shirts.
I've got some T-shirts in my car. I'll hook y'all
And
up.
they're like he did the whole Pedro T-shirt, the whole.
Well, I don't have that one. I've got the original shirt with my face on it.
Son of a
The
bitch.
Pedro style, or
Yeah,
He had him.
just like the Orin one, but apparently mine was made first. And when Orin ordered his, they were like, Corey already did that. But the thing is, I didn't order them. Someone else ordered them for a fundraiser. I had no idea they existed
Yeah.
until much later. So
Johnny, Johnny's coming on the June 5th for we're doing a whole live D&D
We're
here.
dressing up in like night outfits and doing D&D.
yeah, Johnny's like my go-to hang at the grocery. You know,
I
go
only
have
met
an
him-
afternoon cocktail with Johnny.
here, but
My
we
go-to.
vibed on some serious fucking throwbacks.
He's ready. He's so excited.
He was explaining D&D to me. I've never,
I don't
except for
know.
Stranger Things. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
I don't know what
What's it
is.
called? The Gorgon or the Gorgatron or something along those lines?
Gorgatron.
I learned the term LARP like yesterday.
Live action role play, yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
I learned that from him.
Yeah, well, I kind of did too.
It's literally just live action. Just wear a costume, have fun with it.
I'm in.
All right, let's dive in. Ward 1, Biloxi. Why are you doing this, Corey? Where are you at on this?
Well, we're deep in it right now. Election's coming up on June 3rd. I feel like I've been running for 5 years. It's an intense process, but I've been very involved in the community for a long time, and I think it's time to take that to the next level.
Where are you feeling on? Are you knocking doors?
I'm knocking doors. I'm the worst at it. Half hours a couple of days ago in the neighborhood, knocked on 10 doors. So I listen to everything everybody has to say, and apparently that's not the way you do that. But I think it's important to me. They have concerns, and if it's the drainage or if it's code enforcement or even cats in the neighborhood, I want to hear every bit of it and help where I can.
I think if you're listening I think that's a secure vote if you sit there with them. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, and hopefully they're telling their friends, telling their neighbors.
yeah.
If you went by just shaking hands, kissing babies, and then left every 5 minutes, I don't.
Yeah, they might not trust me. And
Yeah,
I feel like it's important to go out there and hear the people.
Because I think we learned in the general that Frank Nell won to the runoff by 6 votes.
So he in the primary. So it's the primary, then a runoff, then
I'm
the
sorry, I
general
keep
will be
getting
in June
Bob's.
3rd.
I keep getting.
But yes, it was close. It was very close for him to get into the runoff, and then he won by a landslide. Or a big number in the runoff.
in the
But,
runoff, yeah. But that's every vote counts, and that Mayor Holloway is saying his brother won by 17 votes for
Yeah.
Biloxi mayor.
And then he was mayor for a long time.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying if you're spending extra time with somebody, I don't think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, so hopefully those are the votes that matter. The
Yeah.
folks that get me over the top. I think it's going to be a close race. My opponent's out there working hard. I know he is. So I gotta match that at least.
What made you think about trying to get in the politics? Like what was your thought when you're like, because it's a big commitment.
It is a lot. So I've been, like I said, I've been involved in various ways with the city for a long time. I'm even working directly with the council, with the mayor in some cases, with the county supervisors to get things done downtown. It's my home, and it's important to me that it is the best place to be, on the coast and the state and the region. That's always been my goal for Biloxi. And I didn't wait to do that. I started doing that the second I moved back about 10 years ago. I hit the ground running. I started the public art program first because I understand art. I knew I could do that and have some impact. And that's had a big impact. Just through the first Friday alone, it's had about $600,000 in economic impact. And that was a couple years ago that was done. So, it's even more than that now. Businesses use it to promote their businesses. We started doing it on empty, vacant places to bring attention, and every one of them are full now. So through that, I got more and more involved, and now, I'm involved with the Historic Review Commission. I sit on that board commission, I guess, over in Biloxi, letting people know what they can do with their new businesses and homes and things like that. But I've just been deeply involved for a long time, and I'm just kind of at the point where I think I can do more. I can step up to the next level and help Biloxi grow and help one more, like I said, be the best place to live in the state.
So you're for growth.
Yes, I am for growth. I'm pro development when smart. We don't want to do things that have a negative effect on the place. I think we sometimes will build things that are going to affect the flood table, and we don't think about that. We just go. And then the next thing your neighbor's yard's flooding, and you didn't consider that before you built. Or things that are repeat. Like I think diversity in all ways are important. So If you go to a good neighborhood in DC or Atlanta, there's different types of businesses. There are different things for different people. So we don't need 3 burger joints necessarily. You know, a burger joint, a Mediterranean place, and a Greek place would be great. So yeah, I'm for growth, but where it makes sense.
Healthy growth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always
And
the idea.
things for the neighborhood. So it needs to be a great place to live first. So it might be important to have a drugstore and a cleaners, right?
Mhm.
If I can get to a drugstore and cleaners in 5 minutes, that doesn't take away from my work day, gives me more time with my kids. A grocery store that's close by, a butcher, you know, things that make sense for the neighborhood. I think if we're going to grow, let's do that.
I don't know much about Ward 1 Biloxi or what area that's going to be.
That's
That's the spot of Biloxi.
Well,
That's the
All right, I'll tell you where it
that's
is.
downtown area.
it's,
Right?
it's downtown.
Includes downtown. It's cut up a little weird though. So it's from Rodenberg all the way to the I-110, kind of south of the tracks there, and it'll dip up above the tracks here and there, like the Kensington neighborhood,
Yeah.
and some other spots. But then it's downtown, but south of Howard,
Okay.
all the way to the point, and then on Crawford Street, I believe it goes up, and includes that part of the point. So like the Maritime Museum is in it, but the Barks building isn't. So it's cut up, you know, a little weird, but yeah, it's kind of the heart of Biloxi.
I would think so. Like, and I always, well, you were here first. You were in OS first. This is your stomping
When I
ground.
moved home, well, I grew up in Biloxi. I left for graduate school after Southern Miss when I lived in the St. Louis area at that time. Moved around the Midwest for about 12 years. Then when I came back, I got a job at the Walter Energy Museum. So I did move to OS first when I moved back home.
He had kids.
Always with an eye on Biloxi, of course.
He
but-
found a way to, like, I remember one time I was sitting with him, like I was walking down the sidewalk. It's right by Brandon's original store, and I had Corey, and he had this kid was probably 12 years old.
He was
chalking-
18.
Huh?
He was 18.
That kid was 18. He didn't look it.
I know he didn't, but yeah, he was
Yeah,
my intern at the, yeah, he was my intern.
but he was chalking the sidewalk, like he was putting art on the sidewalks with chalk. And Corey's like, "Yeah, that's what I want." Corey's like, "I just want to paint everything." You see, and that's Corey started raising money for, you know, if you look at like Fishbone Alley, I got to give Corey credit because that was started because Corey was that person who's like, I can find a way to raise money to get cans of paint the walls. And that's what he started. And then people started copying his style, which is it's cool. But Corey's just always about like, I could find a way to raise money for paint. I can't paint it, but I'll get people to do it. And he got people to donate and volunteer. It was a vision that I've, to this day, you see always. It's a vision that everybody sees. If you look at like if you go in Biloxi, you see the art. That's Corey. That was Corey setting it up, trying to get people together. And it's fascinating. He didn't go, I need $200,000. He goes, I just need money to get cans of paint, and I'll ask the artist to paint. And that to me is a move.
I want to say Julia Reyes actually did all the intersections, right? Like,
So Julia Reyes, yes,
Geez.
we've done a bunch of stuff with her. She did several of the intersections. She did a couple other murals in the downtown, but we're working with her right now. She's going to do a huge one on the Public Works building. It'll be kind of welcoming the Amtrak customers in the town. So yeah, the mayor approved that yesterday, and so we're gonna pay her some money to go paint, and so we're keeping artists working. It's important that they do get paid for these jobs. The first couple, we were hustling. It was bootstrapped for sure, but we had some volunteers to start. But
that's how you start.
Yeah, that's how you just start. Like you said, you don't ask for this big chunk of money for this big idea. You just start going.
I was fascinated by it. Like when I started seeing Corey's like, I'm gonna get this painted, and you start seeing the cities change. You start seeing color and smiles. It's like that was to me was very, especially being from here, to be able to see, like I said, like having you walk down the street and there's a kid chalking the sidewalk and putting his heart into it, and Corey's sitting there with them watching them do it, and it's just.
Yeah, and Jordan always documented that stuff for me. He was great about that early on. Anytime there was a project going on, he was out documenting it, sharing it,
Yeah.
It was just cool because like you see a person that cares about a city.
But you're already working with the city. You're already working with the mayor. You're already getting things done with the organizations you're members of.
Yes, and that'll continue. Regardless of how this election turns out, I'm not going to stop doing the things I do.
Well, I have to ask, who's your competitor? Who you running against?
A fella named Wayne Gray, who, like I said, he's out there doing his thing. I don't think he's been as present in the community as I have been for the past 10 years. And it is strange to me when somebody kind of pops up out of nowhere and runs for office.
Yeah.
But he's working the campaign hard. He's doing his thing. Best of luck to him. But obviously, I hope I beat him.
Yeah. Well, what's his background? I mean,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Not sure.
Do you feel now that you've kind of been able to go to these meetings like you and Robert Nell?
Yeah.
And you and Robert have talked on the phone. Y'all have actually became friends.
Well, I've met him through the process. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you start showing up to board meetings before the idea of running?
Well, I've always gone if there was something that concerned me. If there's something I had an interest in, I would go to a meeting. I've gone a few more times. Even now, really, I'm going only if it's something that maybe I should go talk about or I need to be present for. But I've been present when I can be. I went. We have the pop-up skate park. I went to speak on their behalf when they were doing something that affected them, and things like that. I'll go, but only when needed.
Yeah.
You're in it now.
I mean, I think the proof's there that you have love for the city. You've put your time in, and you have things to show for it, right? So,
anybody voting local wants to know the person they're voting for is actually involved in the city.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope that
you've
carries
already
it.
proved that. So.
Yeah, I hope that carries it. I hope that's what people are looking at instead of other outside things that we can't control.
Well, they're serious about it because, like I said, Corey came by the house, and I'll be honest with you, like Lauren and Corey are friends of mine. I grew up, me and his wife, I think me and her were in every class together in school. Like she and Corey made a decision making groceries, the plant-based restaurant that they decided to not, it's down right now. It's probably come back in a few years or whatever, but they both are focusing on this run. I think that's powerful. Like you've been to making groceries. There's so many people been to making groceries.
Yeah. And y'all own a small business, you know what it's like. So we had to put family first there for a while too.
Yeah.
And kind of make that a priority. But you never know. You might see some vegan tacos on the streets again someday.
But it's cool that they went all in.
Yeah.
Vegan crunch wraps.
There you go.
So for me, it's her carrot tacos.
Carrot tacos?
Yeah, they're good.
It's delicious, man.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean,
and neither one of us were vegan ever.
I thought vegan was going to just like dominate, and it kind of fizzled out because we were trying to do some vegan product here, but man, damn, it's
you just sit on it,
lose it,
and you have the one every now and then that comes in. There's nothing on the menu that
y'all do vegan every day. People that sub meat for avocado.
Yeah, vegan's way more strict. I mean,
it's something. We made it real simple though. She was brilliant with it. Like,
yeah.
So we had cauliflower tacos. So she'd make cauliflower taco, use a stalk to make soup. So it was brilliant, really, the way she set it up because it was cost effective.
Yeah.
And so we just had zero waste. And so if we had leftover soup, we'd freeze it and sell that as a family meal. And it went well, really. We were actually about to expand, but just think about taking all that on with a lot with 3 kids. We got a 2-year-old and
a lot.
Twin 17-year-olds. So
yeah,
but it could work. It's a tougher mountain, really, but it can work.
The diet's for everybody.
No, it's definitely not for everybody. Yeah,
because
we did pescatarian for a little while, and that kind of worked for us. But I can't give up seafood. Not happening.
That's a hard one, especially down here.
Sometimes when I see vegetarians, it looks like their skin's kind of.
Yeah, they're not getting enough protein. Probably.
I can see it. I'm like,
they're not doing it right.
Yeah,
they're not doing it right. They're not getting enough protein.
Yeah,
there's vegetarians that eat like fries and like they still don't eat enough. They don't eat the right things, and it's not good for you.
Protein,
you still gotta have a well-rounded diet.
Yeah. You need protein.
Gotta have
Yeah,
very important.
I mean, but the vegan, like no animal byproduct of any sort. So it's like,
it's like
no.
Yeah, we had honey, and we had a vegan complain about our honey once. Yeah, it's like it's local honey, it's healthy, and they're like, it's an animal byproduct.
Honey comes from one place.
But it happens, man. You gotta, some people are strict on their diets. You gotta respect it. Honey
from a bee.
From a bee. That's an animal. I guess.
Honey's like incredible for the earth.
Fall
like
into the same categories when they come here and want organic coffee.
Oh,
I'm like, I swear the coffee's real. And they're like, yeah, but was there pesticides used? I was like, it's roasted. it's burnt up.
It doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
Cooked off.
You want me to charge you like 3 times the price of some organic shit I gotta buy? Like, it's kind of those are people very victims of marketing.
Yeah, and they've taken it too far. Like they don't
Yeah.
understand what they're doing, even. You know.
I mean, a coffee bean, you can eat a coffee bean. Everything's gonna be okay. I mean, like it's not.
Yeah.
It's real. It's very real.
It's just caffeine. You know.
No, the patty at McDonald's, no, it's not real. I mean, but this is real. It's a coffee bean.
Yeah.
It's real. It's
Honey, let's go back to that. That's
Yeah, the honey, yeah.
How do you,
It also had someone challenge me once on the honey. I was like, it's local. It's from Van Cleve, so it's good for your allergies.
I
They're like,
want to see the bees.
it has to be within this many miles. And so I pulled it up. I was like, here's the damn Google map. It's 11 miles away. That's close enough for you to get your benefit.
who's the honey guy?
The honey guy. So our honey guy is Clay, actually. That is
My honey.
one of the brewers at the brewery.
Yeah, that's my honey guy.
Yes, that's my
I
honey
bought-
guy.
that's the one I was telling you about. I bought 4 pounds from the other day.
Yeah, so we buy
4
so
pounds
much
of
honey
honey?
from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But so Ira and my baby won't eat his yogurt until he sees you put the honey on. So we go through so much of it.
Clay's
Honey's good for you, man.
And it's great
cool.
for him. Yeah, so
Clay,
who cares, you know?
that's his passion. He's like, the other day when I went and got the seltzers for us, was like, are you still doing honey? Because Emily loves his honey. Like he goes, I got some. And I said, I need honey. And so he was working, he's eating lunch. He goes, I'll go back in the back room. Brought out 4 pounds of honey, and Clay's honey is from Van Cleve. It's
Local.
just
what you need.
local honey. And he's like, I'm not making any money. I just like having bees. Like he's not doing it for he's doing it because he loves bees and loves. That's fascinating to me.
So it's making delicious beer and making honey.
And a person to complain about him.
Well, they were complaining about him. But it
I
was
know, but
still odd.
honey.
You know, it was, just
Yeah.
odd. It was like, what are you talking about?
That was somebody who was just going to complain anyway. But
Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you this about vegans. I think we probably had in 5 years of that business, like 4 customers that were mean.
yeah,
Like they are so happy that we existed.
Yeah.
I'd be like, we're out of this, and this. They're like, we don't care. Whatever you got, we'll eat it. So that was a good thing. The customer service there was so much easier than your standard because they were just appreciative that we existed.
Gotcha.
Somebody's got a birthday today.
I was just gonna say, we got Brandon.
He's here right now. And there's a microphone.
Get on the mic, my man. Oh,
No, it's your
on
birthday.
now.
Come on, hop in. It's your birthday.
We got some Fly Llama beer over here.
We had a mini bar this time.
We have a mini
More
bar.
responsible.
We got a mini bar and Fly Llama Amber.
It's just for your. It's
Look, get you a Coastal Amber Lager here.
Those are probably still
you gotta
cold.
put a lime in.
Corey, my man, nice to meet you.
You gotta
We
put
gotta
a lime in.
gotta put a lime in
Your
it.
middle one here, or your middle there.
Here or there.
Middle over there.
Yeah, come on.
He wants to go in the middle here. All right.
Let me, turn you up, Cardi.
There you go. Check the mic.
Rap something. Say something.
Drop a verse.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Nailed it.
What'd you do, birthday boy? What'd you do today?
Worked. UPS. Delivered
Slinging
a
the
bunch.
boxes.
Yeah, slinging the boxes, Ocean Springs.
What'd you eat tonight?
Wings is my favorite food, so we went to Murky Waters.
Shout
was
out to
good.
Murky Waters. We should
Heck
have.
yeah.
We should have went to wing night the other
I
night.
tried to get a wing night.
Less
Gotta
Lesson
keep it
learned
local.
there.
Everybody
And never again, Jordan.
had to do-
crawfish was kind of dirty. I ain't doing that again.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we're not doing that, but
Can't
yeah.
go after a local
Right?
restaurant.
You got to talk good about folks now.
It's good, but last night I had some dirty crawfish, and I'm not happy about it.
What do you mean dirty?
Yeah, what,
I never
did not
seen-
purge? They forget to purge them?
It looks like they caught those bitches yesterday morning and just cooked them.
Yeah. We just had crawfish just now, and that shit wasn't cleaned at all.
It's rough.
Yeah,
That's rough.
that was good. But he did say, "Let's get a wings." He wanted to get wings, and
Would have been out of the hour earlier also, but it's
Look,
fine.
sometimes you got to listen.
And could have margaritas. All right. I'm not saying.
We could have had. Yeah, I know,
Say
man.
less.
Never again.
All right.
what'd you get for your birthday? Did you get a gift?
No,
I
no.
just-
I don't remember last time I got a gift
Why?
for my birthday. Yeah.
How old are you today, my man?
I'm 35.
35.
So I always tell my wife this because she's younger than me. She's 29. I just turned 35 today, and she's like, you're older than me. I'm like only in the number. Like if we're talking like physically, like I feel like I'm still 23 to 25. Like
That's good.
my body's my body's still good. So I'm 35, I guess, in years, but I feel like any other 25-year-old I'm beating.
Where do you feel mentally? How do you think you are mentally?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm wise. I'm wise with certain things. So I feel like a 25-year-old physically. Now, when I was 25 years old and I was fighting, I wasn't as smart as I am now. So fighting wise, I was a lot dumber, and I'm a lot smarter now. If I could take my brain now and put it into the 20-year-old me, I'd be a beast. I'd be 100% be UFC champ. Street wise and just regular smart wise, I feel like I'm smarter. Even though I was in college then, I still feel like I'm smarter, and I've learned a lot more, and I've learned how to emotionally handle stuff that I couldn't handle back in the day. You know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing that people don't understand is like learning how to emotionally be able to control stuff.
Yes, that's huge.
All right,
That's the
well,
problem with 25-year-olds. They cannot get there.
All right,
You
I'll
know,
call you back.
Bro,
maturity is real.
Back in the day, somebody would tell me, like, say something to me that would piss me off, and I'm like, oh, we're fighting or whatever. Like now I'm like, let it roll off my shoulders. Like, I don't give a fuck. You can't get to me like that most of the time. 90% of the time, I've matured emotionally so much over the years. It's crazy, and the only way you can do that is just experience. So,
Yep. The only way to learn, unfortunately.
yeah, just living.
That's why they say youth's wasted on the young.
Dude,
Bro. I talk too much. I
That's
took
the
it for
only way you can learn
man.
is from experience. Yeah.
But you learn to control the violence because it's gonna be violent in a way. You just want to win.
Yeah,
But no, I just think about so much extra energy from being nervous and shit and stress and work. But man, if you're seasoned out there and you're like, I don't care how bad I get hurt or how bad I hurt you. You know, so that's cool.
Well, it's just funny. Like, you don't want to let the words that somebody else says like change your day. Like, they have that thing that's I see it on Facebook and in like videos all the time. Like, all right, if I was to give you, I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes. If I was to give you $50 million or however many seconds worth there is, and somebody took this much, are you just going to throw the rest away? And it ended up coming back to being like, if somebody makes you mad for 10 minutes of the day, are you going to throw the rest of your seconds away for the day being mad for that 10 seconds? That's what it equals up to. So you just don't let people get to you like that. And then once it does happen, then you just let it happen, be mad for 10 seconds, and then don't let it ruin the rest of your day. You're wasting the other 56,000 seconds or however many it is. So
That's it, man. Yeah, for sure.
We also got a politician running here.
Yes, we talked about that. You know,
Yeah,
we're
still
doing
talking
it.
about it. It's kind of, I mean,
Here, look.
it's a lot.
I'll say this. Vote for Corey.com or Corey4Biloxi.com. Sorry. Yes. Corey4Biloxi.com. Go check that out. You can learn all the stuff you need to learn. And June 3rd, very important. June 3rd, go vote. The Quave Public Safety Center, downtown Biloxi or Ward 1 Biloxi. Lots of folks don't know the dates, so that's a big deal. And if you have a couple extra dollars, you can go to the website and donate.
Cool. What is
I'm going
your
to use
vision?
it to have more billboards with my face on it all over town.
Absolutely. No, that's what wins, man. What's your vision for Ward 1? Like, based on how you see it now, like what do you want to change? What do you want to make better? I mean,
There we go. Yeah, so I feel like we're really on a good path right now. Over about the last 4 or 5 years, some really positive things have happened, a lot of great development. But my vision, like I said, I want to make it a great place to live first. And one of the things we need to do down there is get more housing. You know, that's priority number one. You know, we were kind of decimated like everybody else by Katrina, and we're just now starting to rebuild a lot of things. So number one of housing, and again, I mentioned diversity earlier. So we need affordable housing, we need nice housing, we need rich, we need all the people in our neighborhood, because that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it fun for people.
Can you ahead and tell people that, like, I mean, I'm not gonna give your address out, but you do have a beautiful home, a historical home in downtown Biloxi.
Yes, I have 102 years old this year, on a great street where we were lucky. A lot of the homes survive. A lot of oak trees are still there, and there's a great community on my street. There's a monthly party on the 29th of every month to kind of honor Katrina. So, and that's what you get in downtown Biloxi. There's a great sense of community, but we need to fill it in with those things we need. We need a grocer. We need a butcher. We need our last cleaners just closed, unfortunately. We do have a pharmacy, but we need those things that you can make it easy to live in and make your life easier.
So I wasn't here earlier. I'm guessing Ward 1's right over the beach, right over the bridge.
Yeah, it starts right over the bridge, but it's cut up a little weird. So
yeah,
if you know where Crawford Street is on the point, that begins Ward 2 on that end.
Gotcha.
And then I-110, so I live just a couple of blocks from I-110. So I'm in Ward 1, but the Fly Llama Brewery is not in Ward 1.
Gotcha.
So it's cut up right there. But most of downtown is in Ward 1, and then a couple great neighborhoods. They call the Saints over there, the St. John, St. Jude, St. Paul. Those streets are all in Ward 1. The Kensington area is in Ward 1. So
yeah, seems like that could be the most beautiful place on the beach if they fix it up.
Yeah. A lot of you get in those neighborhoods, man. It is really a beautiful place. And it's kind of surprised, though, knocking on some doors over in that area, how many implants are here. I thought it was still all old Biloxi like my neighborhood, but a lot of those areas, there's a lot of people that have moved into town that are coming down. They've made the choice to invest in Biloxi and be a part of what's going on here. But, the thing is, they came in, they experienced it, and were like, this is wonderful. I'm retiring here. I'm moving down and getting a job here. So it's great to see that many people are interested in being a part of what we got going on.
Let's do Let's do our cheers for your birthday boy.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a politician, so I'm skipping the shot.
Yeah, I know. But it's
raise
Brandon's
the
birthday.
glass.
It's only 35 once.
Gotta have a clear mind to run the city now. Yeah, there you go. Gotta run the city with a clear head.
So is that, like I said, I'm not privy on any of this, a lot of politician stuff or political stuff. And is that, I know around here, you can't really, Airbnb too many places? Are they able to do that over there? You would think, since that's right next to all the casinos and anywhere where you can be able to make some money over there.
Yeah, so that's a hot issue in Biloxi right now. And my personal thoughts on it is that it doesn't really belong in neighborhoods. But along the beachfront, yes. In the places like the Bella that Ivan Spinner built downtown, yes. And there's another little development down the street where South Park Line used to be. Y'all remember that joint? That's perfect. But in the neighborhoods, it artificially inflates property value. So all of a sudden your house, instead of being worth $200,000, is worth $1,000 a week. So that will chase out locals. We want local people in our neighborhoods, making them what they are. But when I travel, I only stay in Airbnbs, because you can go get a more local feel. And we did in our house for a while where there was really no regulation. And the people that come and stay with you, a lot of them would not come here if that weren't an option. So we want to have an option for everybody. But again, it has to be smart, it has to be taxed, probably has to be regulated. And we got to make sure that we're doing it in a way that enhances the city and doesn't take away from the city. In New Orleans, there's big problems with it being in too many neighborhoods and chasing the locals away. Because all of a sudden your $400,000 house there is $1 million. And the folks that have been there 10 years can't afford that.
Yeah, I know over here they made it to where only sections of it can do it, and that way it's not like one house in a neighborhood here and then nobody else is doing it, and people don't feel comfortable living there next to a different person basically every week. So I mean, I just thought it was kind of interesting to know because I didn't know anything about it. And I don't know.
We're working on our ordinance now. Right now, it's a conditional use thing where you have to take it up to the council. They make a decision based on various factors. But I think it's smarter to have some kind of regulation where you can be here, you can be here. That's it.
What does a home go for now in downtown Biloxi?
Man, it varies wildly. Our street, because it was so preserved, is a little more expensive. We were lucky to get there. I couldn't afford to live on my street now, honestly, but we've been there for 11 years and got there where we did. But a street over could be $300,000 less. It depends on the shape of the house, the surroundings. It is all over the place, but there's definitely some parts that are affordable. We have a problem with a lot of empty lots where I wish, we could figure out some kind of incentive where folks could come in, buy the lot, build and make it worth their while. Because, new builds are very expensive right now. So how do we fight that? Of course, insurance is a big deal. The number one reason why the points come back so slow and may not be worth building on.
Two quotes today that were on Keesler Circle. Nobody hit less than $8,000 a year.
Yeah,
Goodness.
dude.
And I was like, I think you feel bad about it, but there it is. You're right.
Ours went up quite a bit this last year. It's kind of scary, honestly.
Well,
Yeah.
Aaron Parker, shout out to the
Heck yeah,
game
he's got
boy
him a
peddler,
house.
just bought a house next to you.
Yeah, right down the state.
I did his insurance and I got it down where he wanted to have it, but that's still expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw him walking out of the lawyer's office actually yesterday. We were driving down Howard. I was like, I bet they just bought a house. Sure enough,
It's next
2 hours
to your
later, there was like, new house.
It's next to your house.
Yeah,
It's
right
right
there.
by your house.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Ivan's spot he's trying to bring down there?
Look, I love it. I think it's a creative way to use the space. And we travel a fair amount. Like me and my wife, we travel. She allows me to do this, love her for this, but I travel to go learn what I can bring back to Biloxi. So we're in Wynwood in Miami, and there's this amazing container development there. And I'm thinking he's basing it off of that somewhat. He's from the area, but I think it's going to be great. I think it's a way to get more businesses in a small space. It'll drive some traffic, and you can make it look attractive. And then, big cities have these.
Put your
They look
music
great.
venue in there, and
Yeah, I mean, a music
Cool.
venue. You can have art in there. You can have I think I heard speakeasy.
Yeah.
Um,
coffee shop.
so I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be very, very cool. There's a great coffee shop right across the street from there, the Greenhouse.
Oh
Biloxi,
yeah, that's
which,
true. That's true. Greenhouses.
we just actually did one of my city projects in their alley,
Yeah.
reviving it and making it less scary.
All those girls come in here.
Yeah, they're great.
Good people.
So you over Ward 1 right now? Like I said, I don't know any politics.
I'm not currently a politician officially, but I'm involved in several boards in the city, the Downtown Main Street Association, and I can't get the name wrong, but the Architectural Historical Review Commission. So I sit on that board. So I'm involved. I'm very involved.
And what they're on the right track, because when I first moved down here, like you could barely drive down the roads, and now they're redoing all the roads. And they're like, that's one thing, I guess, if you want people to move in, you got to at least have some nice roads. If you ever go to any nice neighborhood in Florida, like there's no trash anywhere and the roads are nice.
Yep. Keep it clean, keep it bright. Our next step's lights. We got to light it up. And that seems like an easy enough thing to do. But I tell you, we're putting lights under the I-110, and just to light up from the Howard Avenue to the railroad tracks, something like $500,000.
Is MDOT cool with that too?
Yeah. Yeah, they're cool with it. We have to work with them and
MDOT
follow the regulations.
MDOT owns everything.
So we're about to do a small part of that project. The lights are actually in the mail for that part. But the rest, I mean, it's very expensive. So
That's crazy.
Your
crazy.
incumbent right now has been in office for 30 years.
yes.
Are you gonna carry his torch, or you got a different idea?
I feel like I'll probably take a different approach. Now, the one good thing about George is he really does try to represent the voice of the people. He will go out and talk to people and go to the meeting and say that.
Yeah.
And I like that about him. I think I'll probably be a little more progressive with development and things of that nature and getting people into the neighborhood. But I always respected that about George, how he'll talk to the neighborhood, he'll talk to the neighbors, and he will represent that in the meeting.
I like that your primary focus is business, man. Everything you're saying is business.
Yeah, all pro business, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, and again, in a way that makes it a great place to be. Like,
Yeah.
if we want to recruit people to live down here, they need things. You need things to, you can't come and have a desolate place with no place to get food. You need that.
Yeah. I love it, man.
Are you nervous?
I'm not at the moment. No, talk to me on June 1st. I'm sure that'll be a different answer.
So, like I said, again, reiterate, I don't know politics. Are you running against this guy that's been there for 30 years?
No, he is retiring.
He's
So
retiring?
that
All right,
makes
so
it
yeah,
easier.
so that-
makes it. I do have an opponent.
Oh,
but
of course,
not
yeah.
a 30-year incumbent, which makes it
Yeah.
really tough to beat. So
Well, that makes it a little easier to. He's going to have his people no matter what if he was still running.
Yep.
So it's going to be hard to sway them over.
Yeah.
But now you have an equal.
yeah, at least
Equal
it's
go
equal
at
play
it.
field, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I don't honestly feel strongly either way about how it's going to go. I hope I have a good choice. I know I've put in the work, and I hope that plays out.
You're just being modest.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing right now.
No, but I mean, naturally, you're being modest.
Well,
I mean,
It's got to be kind of scary there.
we don't know anything about the contender. We don't know.
yeah, and I honestly don't know much about him. He does live a block away from me, though. I did learn,
Wow.
but
Just kind of came out of nowhere.
Say the road, I'll go to TP a house. And it's been since high school.
Come on, I didn't hear that.
I'm joking. I haven't TP'd a house since I was in high school.
Oh my God! Yeah, right by homecoming. so great.
Oh man.
Happy birthday.
Hey,
Tonight
I haven't done that since I was in high school.
Tonight at
16 years
2:30,
ago.
boys. Let's go to Walmart.
Right. Andrews is up.
I think the attachment though is knowing that Corey's before he even thought about running was just a part of the community.
But you're in so many organizations, you're going to have an impact either way. So they might as well both.
Yeah, and I'm going either way. We're doing this thing.
Yeah, you're already going to be in there. I mean,
And I'll tell you, the last thing I'm happy about this thing that's happening lately in downtown Biloxi is now we are like the fitness space, right? Like tonight, there is the run. There's a run every Thursday night. We have 2 bicycle rides. We have the skate park now. We have the disc golf. You can come down there and be fit too. And it's all free. You just go participate. The disc golf course is under the I-110. We're working on building up the skate park, but it's DIY right now.
Like what kind of skateboard, rollerblade, like
Is that the one under the
half
bridge?
pipes?
Yeah, it's under the
Okay.
bridge. So they want everybody. There's a half pipe under there. Yeah.
Nice.
Right now we're working on making it look a little more uniform. So we're gonna help them raise the money for that. We got out there and cleaned it up a couple weekends ago.
Let's go, Brandon. Get
Bro.
aboard. Let's
Bro,
go.
so I was never,
Great participation. I think it's
I
the
got
most
bored.
used kids park in the city right now.
I was never a
I
Like you
heard
can
a
look
lot
on
of good
Google
things
and
about
see
it.
the little times and slots and use. I don't know how they figure this out, but
You-
an ollie.
you would have sold me as a 16-year-old. Like I never skateboarded. Where I was from, like rollerblading, like K2. You had K2s. I would go to. I'm from Georgia originally, so I'd go to X Games skate park and we'd ride up there, and you have 12-foot drop-ins and So
I
I
don't think we have anything that high in there. But yeah,
no,
there's a
yeah,
little
but
half
even
thing,
just
yeah.
having, but you had to pay $100 to
Scary
get in
drop
there.
in, like
Yeah,
for a first
it's totally
timer.
good.
Like,
Well, always
Tony
be free.
Hawk. Can we get Tony Hawk now?
Yeah, right.
So-
See,
How old is Tony Hawk now?
Gotta be
he
50.
just made a new game, dude.
Gotta be 50.
Or
But for y'all to
60.
have that is crazy. Like for free, and anybody can go out there.
And I never would have thought there'd be that many kids out there. I mean, it's just getting used. So there's kids out there right now skating.
That's one thing I love about the coast because I'm not from Mississippi originally. I moved down here. in 2016 for fighting, and before I moved down here, I went to college at Itawamba. Then I went to Mississippi State, Itawamba Community College, and then
I know it well.
I've heard of that.
yeah, ICC, and then went to Mississippi State. So everything's way different than over here. Like down here, you have murals on the walls and outside of buildings and everything. And up north, Mississippi, like that's like frowned upon mostly. You know what I mean? Like, so this is like the things you would look back in like the 70s, you're like, oh man, I would love to do that. Like, and people don't approve of it or don't let it happen. And y'all are like making it happen down here. And I
Coast
love
is a
it.
different place, man.
It's-
From
And growing up on the coast and then going out into the world, people, first off, you're from Mississippi, like they have a certain
Yes.
mindset about
Dirt
that.
roads?
Never go to North
When I-
Mississippi.
When I
Yeah.
was, when
But
I
I'm
was
like, when you come visit, come home with me.
bro,
And it changes their mind every time.
when I was in the UFC, and I tell people like, "Where are you from?" I'm from Mississippi, or I live in Mississippi. Like, y'all live on dirt roads? Like,
Yeah.
we-
The things people think, I tell you.
North Mississippi.
they
does,
think
though.
they think we're living horse and buggy.
He made it a
Bro,
point.
the JUCOs in North Mississippi are ridiculous.
Oh.
If you don't eat lunch at the fucking cafeteria, you do not eat.
If you didn't go to North Mississippi Community College, you don't know.
You don't know,
You don't know. But
dude.
that being said, down here, y'all the culture is completely different. If you're gonna live anywhere in Mississippi, this is a place to live. Other than that, you need to live in a college town, which I lived in Starkville for 4 years. It was fun. Nothing like down here.
Oh, it's way more fun down here.
Oxford, Ole Miss.
Oxford's a whole.
Oxford's all right.
It's a little bitty city and then a big outer town, but it's a town once you get outside of the city.
Yeah.
When I was going over there, you couldn't even get cold beer. You had to buy the beer.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah. Oh,
hot,
yeah.
and then take it to your house and put it in the fridge for 8 hours for it to get cold. Like you couldn't even buy it cold.
It's crazy that in
Look,
Biloxi or on the
I was
coast
there
here,
6
you can buy a
years
beer
out
at
there.
7:00 in the morning at a bar, and 2 miles north, it's the Dry County.
Dry
Like,
County.
that's
And I
insane.
don't understand this. And then there's still places where you can't buy beer on Sunday, and like I just don't understand it. Like I understand.
Here's the
and
thing.
I'm
Here's what happened.
That's why you need to vote local.
I'm religious, so I'm religious, so I
I can
believe in
educate
God, and I understand that people don't want to. Some people don't want to drink on Sunday, but if some people do,
I'm a
it
bit
should be
of
open
a,
for everybody.
Biloxi historian. So here's really why it's so different. So the French landed
I
here.
got 1 second on Lumberton. This is for my
Go ahead,
in-laws. Just real quick. They passed that law. Now it's not dry anymore. but they built a bar so their friends would come over, and they still are so accustomed to not like having a bar that they actually continue to live underground about their. Dude, I went over there. I'm like, "What are y'all doing?" They're like, "We're doing a speakeasy." They created a bar and they buy handles of alcohol, and their friends still to this day go. But now it's not a dry county anymore. But they're so accustomed.
But guess what? When you're not 21, it feels better to drink when you're not 21 because you're not supposed to do it. So that's that same feeling they're getting.
Yeah,
they're getting that same feeling like I'm not supposed to do this.
A little bit of danger. I feel bad.
Exactly.
But it's an actual barn. It's probably about 5,000 square foot. It's probably 5,000 or 6,000 square foot.
Goodness,
It's a cool. No, it's a nice bar. It's a barn, but it's got a dance floor and everything.
But basically, the difference is the French influence on the coast. So they came here first, Mobile, New Orleans, and went up. So you notice the places in the south that are similar are Mobile, New Orleans.
Yes.
Here. So that influence, and I always tell people I'm talking about, we got to keep the best of that. So the Catholicism kind of made its way.
Catholicism.
It is not north of here, but it was a little more liberal than the Protestant religion, and so that's a part of it. Being on the waterfront, so you just had kind of more diversity in general, more open-mindedness.
Yes.
Yep.
But we got to keep the Mardi Gras and the food here. The Catholicism went north. We got to keep the food and Mardi Gras, so we got the best of it.
Bible Belt's all through Mississippi, but it's not down here.
Yeah.
So you have resort status down here. So the state had to acclimate to this, and they did. Jackson. But down here, you have resort status where you can only serve alcohol. You're permitted to only serve alcohol if you're resort status. Tinge of the casinos, Tunica has some of this too. Everywhere else in the whole fucking state, you have to do 25% food. You have to.
Yep.
All right. So, funny thing about Oxford, I mean,
Even in Vicksburg?
Vicksburg has a casino.
No, I mean, yeah, but on the casino, you don't have to do that.
In
So
the
it's
casino, well, they got food either way, but I'm saying, I don't know the resort status in Vicksburg. It has to be zoned that way. I don't know what they zone resort in Vicksburg.
so basically anything on the water, anything on the water or an Indian resort.
So this is a resort area. It's however it's zoned. You know what I mean? So look at Salty Peach, no food, booze. Office, no food, booze. But in North Mississippi, nothing is resort status. I know there's some areas in Tunica I think I heard about because of casinos, but it's up to the city to zone it.
It's like the Indian,
but what I'm
Indian land, right?
I'm from that barbaric dry county. I mean, we lived our whole lives that way, like in Holmes Community College, Moorhead.
Yes,
College.
Moorhead State.
There's nothing anywhere. But funny thing about Ole Miss is, all right, so there's a grove, the iconic grove. You are permitted to drink
Iconic.
Grove.
Yeah.
The grove's famous.
We all know the Grove. Yeah,
Love it,
we all
love
know
it,
the
bro.
Grove.
It's famous. And so look, you're permitted to drink liquor in the Grove. You cannot drink beer. If you walking in with a case of Bud Light, they will rip it out and dump it out. You can have fucking Jack Daniels.
But can you have it in a bottle?
Yeah.
You can walk with it in the bottle.
You can have beer in a bottle.
No.
Okay,
No
yeah,
beer.
no beer in the bottle.
No liquor. So here's my next. It's even better. It has its own zip code. The baseball stadium across the street.
Oh, that's smart.
No liquor, but you can drink beer.
Wow.
What is it?
You think I'm making this shit up?
No, I believe there are some weird laws in this state around alcohol.
The Northeast can only use airplane bottles behind the bar.
Well, that was South Carolina, Myrtle Beach when I was there in early 2000s. I think they changed that law. But yeah, for a long time, bartenders were having an open airplane bottle.
Well, you got to think when we were in college. Like you could not, like it was illegal to drink at games. Now that being said, if I'm
legal everywhere though at that
now it's legal. Like you couldn't drink in the game. So
how many games
you had to sneak if you were going into the football game, you had to sneak a bottle or whatever you're going to take inside, and you had to sneak it in. You have a girl with a purse or whatever, sneak it in.
It wasn't difficult,
but now they sell alcohol at the games, and we're out tailgating. You can have beer in a cup or you can have liquor in a cup, but you cannot carry it in the can or in the bottle. If you carry it in the can or the bottle, you're going to jail.
All right, so that's not that uncommon.
Right.
Yeah, that's not that uncommon that you can have it. I think a lot of places do that.
But they weren't gonna take like what's in that cup. And I guess unless you were acting like an idiot. But so they didn't care if you drank. But now it's legal and they sell it. I guess they just found out or smart enough finally, like, hey,
make money.
We're losing out on so much money per year.
Well, so
I'm just realizing my sign is Ole Miss colors.
Oh yeah.
But y'all started talking
about
my alma mater.
Oh, I gotta see,
Grove,
I gotta see what your opponent's colors are. And then
we went to the last Egg Bowl, and yeah, they were selling high noons. They weren't doing liquor, of course, but they were selling high noons, $10 a piece.
Liquor seems like a bad idea in an SEC stadium.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Colonel
for
Reb
college
is,
kids.
Yeah.
is the Colonel Reb in the
The
shop?
college kids need all the rules.
Yep,
man.
Colonel Reb's up there.
A little bit. Yeah,
Y'all sell much art out of here? Y'all got art for sale? I like that.
So sometimes
Oh no, I had no
I was
idea.
wondering. I flipped through. They got a whole book over here.
it's their mom's art.
Yeah, she did all of this, man.
That's awesome.
But
I am a big believer in the power of the arts.
Mm.
We even did one of the other things I did whenever there was a few vacant buildings downtown. We did art shows in the buildings to get people bodies in them. And I think of we were like 5 for 5. Like every one of them got leased or bought relatively quickly afterwards.
yeah, if nobody can see the inside just because you're not allowed inside, they'd be like, "Nah, I'm not taking that
Exactly,
building." Yeah, that's
People
smart.
got in there and saw some
Smart.
activity and did it.
What do you feel like? So if you do get elected, like, what's your first like driven goal that you're gonna focus on?
I think I would like to kind of focus on the things that I know can get done. Like we talked about lighting downtown. There's some spots where it just doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
So let's start there. Let's get the lighting done. Let's focus on some code enforcement. That's something that's on the books. We're not creating something new there. We're just getting done a thing that we need to be getting done. And I really, I think Biloxi is probably a pretty good place to work, but how can we make it a great place to work? How can employees want to be there and people want to come work there? Like, let's talk about that.
Make Biloxi great again.
There you go.
Because that brings in, that makes those other things easier to accomplish. If people want to work there, how can we make it easy to figure out how to throw an event in the city? Things that are already there that we can just kind of start.
Well, you got to get your foot in the door with the small stuff because, like, you hear during the presidential campaigns, like, "Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this," and you never see it
I'm
happen.
not trying to make big promises that I don't know if I can keep.
Exactly.
I want to make promises that I heard, talk about things that I can go in and do.
How strong is the local politics on the casinos? I mean, I know you got to have some influence, but like, you're going to be voting on big concepts with the casinos, right? I mean, like,
yeah. So some of the land use stuff, they get to vote. The state is very involved in the casino stuff.
yeah, but I mean, surely the
Right.
local
But yeah,
politics of Biloxi has to agree to.
there's some involvement. It is not a thing I've been involved in this point. I know that we will get to vote on land use as far as, is this zone for a casino? Do we want one here and things like that? Because they have voted in several that have either come or not come for various reasons. And I don't know that we need more casinos. It's obviously a job driver.
I don't really mean more. I meant like the ones there now. Like, let's say Biloxi or Beaurivage tries to buy, like, I don't know. I mean, do y'all have any say in that?
Oh yeah. So land use in Biloxi, we would have some
Yeah.
say over. So obviously depending on what they're going to do with it, and could we use a cool entertainment venue? Probably.
Beaurivage owns the Shucker Stadium. Am I
No, they sold it back to the city last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so the city
Why did they name it Keesler Stadium?
because
That's
Keesler sponsored it. So they sold it back, and then they sold it back to somebody. But at any rate, the Keesler is the sponsor.
Okay.
So they are like Citco Field or
Right.
the Mercedes Superdome. It's the same sort of a deal.
So it's owned by Biloxi.
I believe it's Biloxi. I don't think it's the Shuckers that owns it. I think
John
it's the
came
city.
in. The owner of the Shuckers came in the other day.
Yeah,
He's
John
on
came in the
teams,
other day. He came in
Yeah.
twice.
I don't know. There's a hope to do more events there. I think at some point we're supposed to do 10 events a year there. So that would drive some traffic. Yeah, and then with the Sanger coming online soon, I think with those two things, if there's events going at those two places, you get Ivan's development down the street. The Parks building is, closer every day.
Ivan's
the-
supposed to be dope. I mean, he's been working on it for a long time.
Yeah.
There's some plans coming our way, but the Singer would be great if we can get that done.
It
I
is
used to go there
very
as a
close.
kid.
Yes, it's very. I was in there a couple of weeks ago. It's very close. I think they were working on
What's the seating
plastic.
like?
They were working on some plaster stuff and putting carpet in or something like that.
What's the
last time I was
seating
in there.
now? Like, are they like what? How many?
They didn't increase the seating. They just updated, and it's beautiful and not falling apart anymore.
There you go.
Yeah, and if you see the outside, it looks great. I drove by today, and it's it looks like they did some work.
when that comes back, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping we get some good acts. Hattiesburg's doing great things with theirs. Went up there and saw Bella Fleck at the Sanger there, Lucinda Williams. So if that kind of talent can go to Hattiesburg, we can certainly support it.
I think you know where I see it going is a lot of stand-ups
Yeah.
are coming.
That would be
Seriously,
That would be cool too.
well.
It's
Comedy's
good.
kind of on a rise right now. So
Yeah.
it's gonna happen at the Singer. Like that's a good venue to have it there.
I'd like to see the dance recitals come back. You know, I mean, that's an important thing that happened. I think that's kind of cool.
Well, any more questions?
Yeah. What's the biggest learning curve like from? So what do you do now?
So my day job is I am the sales manager for Fly Llama Brewing Company. So I sell beer to the coast.
Easy job.
Right? It's delicious.
Come talk to me.
beer.
Beer,
Right.
Selling a good beer, yeah.
Well, I always
liquor,
tell
liquor.
people,
You gotta sway me a
For
little
a
more.
sales job, nobody's ever mad when you walk in with free beer.
Yeah, I
Never.
mean,
0 times.
well, my thing is with liquor, I can drink a little bit, and then I don't know where the fuck I'm at anymore.
Yeah.
Beer, I know exactly how. Like, all right, I need to slow down a little bit. Drink a water, and then drink another beer, maybe. But what's the biggest learning curve you come across so far trying to transition into this?
Well, so far it's kind of already been things that I've dealt with already. You know, I'm talking to people about things that I'm aware of and care about. But I think when you get into it, there's going to be a huge learning curve with just the way it works to pass the law. Like, how do we start that? How's the budgeting work? You know, which I would imagine is the biggest thing. Like, where do these dollars come from? Where are they going? How do we keep this a positive number? You know, because there are needs in the city that have to be met. You know, the sidewalks have to be done. The roads have to be usable. So you can't cut that. So, you know, that balance, I think, will be the biggest thing that.
Yeah.
Same thing I said to Frank Neal. I was like, that. I think once you get elected, it's going to come naturally because you're going to. I mean, if you're a public elected official who has no history in politics, yeah, you got to fucking learn it. I mean, like they're gonna you're gonna sit in there, and, you know, it'd probably take you a week or two. But
Yeah, we're gonna have a pretty new council.
You understand
no
the
matter
dynamic
what,
of it,
so.
and that's good. A new council's good. I mean,
So we'll learn together and hopefully get it down quickly, so we're not wasting the 4 years learning.
I tell you,
but
man,
getting stuff done.
if you're all about business, and I understand how you're about business, you want a diversity of business. Like, you don't want 2 burger joints together, 2 whatever together, and I like that, man. I mean,
Yeah, everybody makes money that way, you know.
Yeah,
And that's
well-
what I want to see. We've been lucky down there how things have opened. I don't think anybody planned it, but it's kind of like business that open fill needs. And you know, the city can't dictate that. But you know, there's no bike shop. One just opened, and then the coffee shop opened when there was no coffee shop, and if there is another coffee shop, it's completely different. So it's been interesting to watch how the city is developing. And
some cities do not follow that protocol.
yeah, I know.
Long Beach, Mississippi. We had a daiquiri bar for a while, and daiquiri was what, 10% of the sales?
A daiquiri's a daiquiri, and they opened a daiquiri shop 50 feet
Right
away.
next door, and like
Yeah, see, that blows me away. Like, there's a daiquiri
in
bar right
fucking
there.
Mayberry.
Do you think
know,
you're making
I was
money?
like,
I don't know much
you want
about Long Beach,
5% of our daiquiri sales? I
Yeah.
don't know if I don't think.
But like, if I'm a business person, like, why would I open something that's already there? I want to make
Well-
money too. Like, I want, you know.
I feel like that's smart. It helps y'all though, because business breeds. What's the thing? Business breeds.
Competition, but
Competition breeds.
but they didn't even
Yeah.
have food. We had food. We weren't even
Yeah,
worried
I
about it.
know.
It was just honestly like we
It
just
was
thought it
so
was a stupid idea. For
Like,
them
I
to
was
do
like,
it, but-
all right, I need to
Well,
get out of here. Because next thing I know, the mayor's down there drinking daiquiris. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
okay, y'all love each other.
I got you.
Oh damn! That well, yeah, that help. I figured it would help y'all because y'all had to establish customers.
Well, we were fine. It was just like, why are you?
We had amazing
here?
burgers. That's how we met
They
Jordan.
also copied our logo. It was ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna say right now, I do not recommend anybody to do business in Long Beach. I'll say it because I have the fucking
Our very
history
first
to prove it.
podcast, we said that.
Yeah,
Well, I'll sell them beer either way.
Hey, speaking of that, this beer's
If y'all
good.
want the Fly Llama in Long Beach, hit me up.
they only sell Bud Light. And
Hey,
He's
Ultra.
probably
I just
so
need.
serious.
I need. Y'all sell light beers, like so. I drink. I've been a Budweiser fan my entire life. Like I've drank nothing but Budweiser
Yeah.
for almost all my life growing up. Tastes better, has like a sweet taste, it's a little
Yeah.
heavier. But since I fight now and I fight at a lower weight class, I fight at 135. I gotta not have as many carbs, as many calories.
We have some light stuff in the tap room. We have the Lewis Light, named after Mr. Lewis, a Biloxi legend.
What are the stats on those?
I
Because I
don't
drink
know
Corona
the
Premier
stats.
and it's like 90.
Mr. Lewis, the one that had on the older guy had on that Fly Llama to do that podcast.
Oh yeah.
That's Mr. Lewis.
All right.
So we, it's pretty light.
It's light.
now.
It's light.
Because I do 90 calories and 2.6 carbs with the Corona Premier.
Brew with rice.
Oh,
Mississippi
nice.
rice.
That's awesome.
From the
This one
Delta.
is too. This is pretty
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. I like this. This is not a weight
I'm
cutting
a big
beer.
Jasmine rice guy.
It's not super heavy though. I mean,
Corey,
it's
No,
not
no.
You
terrible.
got a shout out right here, Delaney Metcham, or is it gonna be Meckham?
I think it's
Meacham.
Meacham.
He's
Love what
he's
you're
running
doing
Rusty Walker.
For Biloxi. Thank you, Corey.
hey.
Fist pump.
Thank you, my man.
Great guy.
Thank you.
He's also running as a Democrat, and me and Emily and took his wife out to dinner. We did the seaweed rolls place.
Yeah, over in the mall there.
Yeah,
The kids go there all the
He's
time.
running right now.
Running
Yep.
for what?
Well, Gulfport, right?
Yeah, where I well, not in my district, right next door.
Okay.
Is it 4? I think it's Ward 4. Is he running 4?
I'm not sure the ward. I'm not as familiar with Gulfport stuff.
But he's running.
Ocean Springs is right next door. I can keep up with that. You know, Gulfport downtown to downtown's kind of far.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's Brandon's birthday party. We're about to celebrate it.
Hey, what?
And
One more.
You're independent.
One more. So,
Go for it.
for anybody that lives in Biloxi Ward 1, why should they vote for you? Last statement.
They should vote for me because I have been involved with building the city for over 10 years. I have done this on my own time through my love for the city, and I will continue doing it whether you vote for me or not. But if you give me a shot, I'm going to make this the best place to live in the state.
And Guida just
Amen.
ended that with vote Corey.
Yeah.
Vote
God,
for Corey.
if I was
Love it.
Ward 1 in Biloxi, I'd vote for you.
Hey, I appreciate that. I really do.
We
Yeah.
want to tell them again where they
You can go
where
to,
they show up, and because people don't show up in these damn.
Yeah, so June
General.
3rd, the Quave Safety Center on Porter Avenue. If you want to vote, if you want to vote for me, if you don't want to vote for me, it's you missed it. It's over. That part's over. But to vote for me, June 3rd. Corey for Biloxi is the website if you'd like to go learn more about me or donate. And you can Google me, Corey Biloxi, and like all sorts of stuff will pop up about what I've been doing through the years. I've been lucky to get a lot of coverage about that stuff. So go check all that out and tell your friends to go vote for Corey on June 3rd.
This man's been involved with the community for a decade already. I mean, he's already working.
He's
You
made
can
a ton
vote
of
for him or not.
change.
You're going to be dealing with him either way. He's a great person.
Yeah, you can't get rid of me, Seth.
All right.
You're not going nowhere.
Great
Vote for
show.
Corey.
Yeah, Corey all the way.
And happy
Guido.
birthday, Brandon.
Get your ass over here,
Thank
Guido. We're here right now.
Come on,
Get your ass over
Guido.
here.